Well, hello friends, welcome to Freedom Homestead. My name is Tangie and it is Saturday, October 1st. It is the first day of the month and I wasn't really planning on filming today, but I had set a goal for myself and I did want to bring you guys along. So here we are in my just rolled out of bed. I didn't just roll out of bed. I've actually been up for a few hours, but anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So if you guys follow the canning / homesteading community, then you probably have heard of the Every Bit Counts challenge that was started by Jessica over at Three Rivers Homestead. And there were many of my homesteading friends and canning friends that participated in that challenge. It's a wonderful challenge, trying to preserve something every day of the month of August. And that is a wonderful challenge because it gets so much food put up for your family for later. It can be dehydrating, canning, freezing, freeze drying, any way that you can preserve food that was encouraged. So I was going to participate but didn't. August was kind of a crazy month for us. I decided to give myself the challenge for October. Now, I'm giving myself grace because this is a busy season of life, and so I've challenged myself to preserve at least one big preserving project a week. And I have a list back here, and I'll show you that here in just a second, of things that I need to preserve. And these are all things that I already have in my house that I need to do something with. So let me really quick share a couple of benefits with you. Probably the reason that you don't can is because you think, I don't garden. That's okay, because almost everything that I'm going to be canning this month are things that I bought from the store. And the reason why I do it is because, number one, it saves so much money, so much money. It is a great way to stock your shelves with very little money. There is initial investment. You need your canner, you need jars and lids, and that's pretty much all that is required. That is all that is required besides your ingredient. It is, like I said, it's an initial investment, but it's one that you will use over and over and over and over and over. And they are things that you can find on sale at thrift stores, at garage sales, things that can get passed down from other family members. You know, it can be done, and it can be done on a budget. It requires effort on your part to educate yourself on safe canning methods, and then the courage to do it. Because for myself, my pressure canner that my mom bought me one year sat in the garage for 2 years before I finally got the courage to use it. And ever since I started using it, there's been no going back. It is one of my favorite things to do. I love being able to pack that canner. I have a double stack pressure canner. I can fit almost 20, maybe 18 or 19 pint jars in that thing. Do you know how good it feels? Like, imagine going to the store and buying 20 cans of something and then putting it back in your pantry. So I can do that from my canner, and it is awesome. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble. So it's economic. It helps to save money, but you need to invest, and you need not only in the tools, but in your knowledge. The other thing that I love about canning and preserving things is quick meals. You are able to put together meals in a pinch. It is the best and most healthiest form of fast food that there is. So I was actually downstairs a minute ago, kind of taking inventory of what I have. And I have a bunch of pinto beans that I canned earlier this year in ham stock. And I was thinking, oh man, you know, if I really needed to, if I was in a pinch on time or whatever and needed a super quick meal, I could pop open a couple of jars of that and warm that up. And then I have some quarts of potatoes that I canned. Drain them, rinse them, throw them in a pan with some garlic and butter and herbs, and there's a meal. I mean, it's not exactly well balanced, but it is satisfying and it's got protein. It will stick to your ribs. Now, if I have more time, I would make a pan of cornbread and maybe some coleslaw to go with it. But yeah, that is like, you know, that's just a great thing. You can also do complete meals in a jar. I have some beef stroganoff that I canned earlier this year. All I have to do is heat it, thicken it with a little bit of arrowroot powder or arrowroot flour, and then serve it over mashed potatoes, buttered cabbage, egg noodles, rice. Like, it's just awesome. Okay, so I'm still rambling. All right, so now that I've got the reasons why I love to can, now let me show you some of the projects that I have in mind for this month. All right, so here's my list. I have green relish. This is with the green tomatoes that I currently have outside. I need to harvest those. But the green relish that I'm thinking of is like is it called piccalilli? Or chow chow, something along those lines, something that I can have with pinto beans. Green enchilada sauce, I want to do a small batch of that. We don't eat enchiladas very often, but I would love to have some green enchilada sauce. Chili beans, I make my own chili beans, again, super economical. I have a really great recipe. I have 2 videos I will link down below. I love black beans. They are super versatile. My favorite way to use them is in taco soup. I add them to my chili. We put them on nachos and tacos and casseroles. White beans, I love them for soups, and I love them for white chicken chili. Potatoes. Potatoes are my new favorite thing. I just started canning those last week. I shared my cheesy broccoli and potato soup where I use the canned potatoes, and I will link that down below if you missed it. Chicken, I just bought some chicken at Aldi. I have about 10 pounds and I'm actually gonna can that today. I do have a video on canning, either canning chicken or canning meat. I raw pack it and it's the same as you would do like a roast or a tenderloin or whatever. So I will link that down below. Tomato soup. This is a quick and easy tomato soup. It is a pressure canning recipe. I do have a video on that and I will link it down below. Pears and light syrup. I will show you the pears that I bought yesterday here in just a moment. Pear butter. And then green tomatoes for frying later. I would like to do a small batch of that. So this is my brain dump things that I have that I need to preserve soon. So today I am definitely doing chicken, and I would like to go ahead and do my chili beans so that way I have them for dinner this week because that is on our menu plan. Time allows, I will go ahead and prep my potatoes to can tomorrow, as well as starting some pear butter. So let me show you the pears really quick. So some of you probably saw where I bought 36 pounds of apples, was it last week? And I got them for $12. So this produce stand that I found locally, he sells 3-pound bags of apples that are seconds for $1. I didn't have apples, but he did have this half bushel box of pears for $17.50, and that was a really, really fantastic deal. So my plan is to make some of this into pear butter, and the rest of it I want to can pear slices in extra light syrup. So that's the plan. That's the plan. Parker ate one yesterday and he said they were really good. All right, so this is the last of the apples that I canned yesterday. Actually, I canned these today, but I started them yesterday. So this is, I got 3 quarts of apple sauce and 3 pints of apple butter. I still, oh, that's another thing. I have apple scraps in the freezer to make apple jelly. And I also, where I made the apple sauce, I reserved the juice, and I will, what I'll do is I'll take the apple scraps, put them in my pot, and then take that apple juice that I saved from the applesauce and pour it over that. So that will just give it more apple flavor. Not to mention, I also have pork fat that needs to be rendered into lard, and I have red tomatoes that I put in the freezer because I was busy, and I was like, well, I'll can those later. So yeah, there's definitely a lot to be done, and October is a good time. I also do a lot of canning in January and February as well, after the holidays. But anyway, okay, so to start, I am going to get started with the chicken because I'm going to raw pack the chicken, and so I need to start with a cold canner. And plus, getting that ready for the canner is super easy because all you're doing is you're cutting it into chunks and mashing it down into jars. So what I'm going to do to make sure that my canner is filled to the brim before I start it is I know that I don't have enough chicken to fill my canner. So the space that I have left, I'm going to use to can some black beans. And I should be able to go ahead and get a few jars in there, and that way I'll have them for chili later this week. And then once that canner is done, and I take all of those out, then I'm going to do 7 quarts of chili beans. So let's get started. All right, so I haven't really been showing anything because I'm kind of moving slow today. But I just put in the canner. So I had to, I ran all the jars through the dishwasher because I needed so many. And then I just kind of relaxed while I was waiting on that. Okay, so now in my canner, the bottom is the chicken. So I ended up getting 8 pints of chicken, and then I've got a little bit left over that I'm gonna cook for my lunch. And then the top, I have, I think 8 pints of black beans. So that'll be great. And I'm gonna fold laundry while I'm waiting on that. And then once that gets close to being done processing, then I will start on the chili beans. So by the end of the day, I should have 3 quarts of applesauce, 3 pints of apple butter, 8 pints of chicken, 8 pints of black beans, and 7 quarts of chili beans. Hopefully. Hey friends, it is the next day. I'm sorry I look like a hot mess. I feel like a hot mess, but I wanted to show you, this is what I got done yesterday. We ended up with 8 pints of chicken, 8 pints of black beans, 3 pints of apple butter. So I'm getting ready to label those and put them downstairs. Currently, this is what I'm working on. I am working on canning up some pears. I showed you guys the pears that I got from the from that produce place. And this is my first time canning pears, which is why I'm not doing a tutorial. I haven't quite figured out how to get these to not turn brown, even with using lemon juice, but I'll show you the product when I'm done. Good morning, friends. It is the next day. All of my jars sealed, and you can't really tell, at least through the viewfinder, but my pears turned pink. And I did not know. Again, I mentioned this is the first time I've ever canned pears. I soaked them in lemon water like it said to do. I parboiled them like it said to do. And according to my research, this is completely and totally natural and apparently not something that you can control. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. If you have a surefire way to keep your pears from turning pink, then let me know. But what my research said was that it was the anthocyanins, and again, not a whole lot you can do about it. It's just something that naturally occurs. The pears are fine. Sometimes even poached pears turn pink. But yeah, I was really hoping they would be pretty and white, but that's okay. That's okay. But I think what I'm going to do with the rest of the pears is I'm going to do a pear butter. So yeah, so that's what it looked like. And I'm going to do my pear butter just like I would do apple butter. All right, clearly I forgot to put vinegar in the canner, but I just pulled out 7 quarts of chili beans. I have 6 more going in the canner. Okay, so that does it for week number 1 of October. Again, not putting a lot of pressure on myself to do something every day, but at least something every week. Okay, so Lord willing, we'll be back next week with more canning projects. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if I have videos of any of these, I will link them down below. The pears, I just followed the ball canning cookbook. The apple butter ball canning cookbook. Applesauce, the ball canning cookbook. Chicken and chili beans, I definitely have in videos on, so I will link those down below. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, remember to be vigilant, be prayerful, and be prepared. God bless you all, and we will catch you in the next one.